Hey everybody, Casual Dev Plays here. Back with a little bit of a different Civ 7 episode. We're going to go through what does the first 50 turns look like in a game. So this is for all of you who are just kind of trying to figure things out, or you want to speed past the AI on whatever difficulty, or you're just not even sure what to do. So we'll be going through that. I know there's other videos out there that show like in detail like what's the most optimal path and this, that, and the other. But we're just gonna take it slow. We're just gonna take it easy, and I'm gonna explain what I do and why I do it, and your other options, so that you can really set yourself up for whatever victory type you want. Always in Civ, the first 50 turns has been kind of just getting set up regardless of what kind of victory type you're going to do. There's always a few exceptions of certain rush builds, but we're gonna jump right into it. So we're gonna start off with just setting it up. We're gonna walk through it together. So a new game. I'm just gonna pick somebody pretty good. I like Augustus. He's pretty good because of the production. And so we'll go with Augustus. I've always started with Rome. Whenever I've played, we're not going to do any mementos, for those that are just getting started. But once you play through and you start unlocking these, they will help augment your game depending on how you want to start. But this is just a fresh 50 turns, like you just bought it. And then we're going to start the Antiquity Age. And then, of course, for him, we're going to start Rome. Just make it easy. Just pair everything up. And then go forward. We're going to start on... We're going to do Sovereign, just to make it easy for the explanation. This will work really well on any difficulty, but especially Deity. That's where I play on for fun. And it really helps. Standard game speed. We're going to keep the map small. And we're going to come in here. And standard age length. This can really increase the difficulty or make it easier depending on your age length, which is different than your game speed. You either have more turns or less turns in each age to complete what you want to do. Disasters, I always keep them light. The medium, they can be pretty interesting, but if you get started off either light or none. And the crises, if you're getting started and you're just trying to learn the basics, turn it off, maybe play it one time with it on to see what it's like, and then make that decision for yourself. But for this video purposes, I'm just going to turn it off. Alright, so once you've loaded into the game, you're going to have this special kind of settler, which is called your founder, that immediately makes a city. Every other settler you have will just make a town, and then you have to upgrade to a city later. So because of Augustus, he doesn't really have any bonuses to where we're settling, so we're just going to try and settle near some good resources, and this looks like a pretty good start. You can hover over and see that the iron gives +1 combat strength for infantry units, and that's per source of iron. You get wool here. It has production and happiness. Silver gives you +20% gold towards purchasing units. So you just hover over and it generally tells you what you need to do. I like this spot, not in any rush to move, so we're just gonna found our city. Now when you click on the production, your first unit will always be 1 turn. I suggest, bare minimum, you do not 3, 2 scouts and a warrior. This is so your scouts can get out and start picking up what used to be called goody huts, but now they're all kinds of things. There's cairns and caves and shipwrecks and all kinds of things that are going to sparkle on the landscape and help you out. And so, as usual, your first civic chiefdom is going to take a little bit of time, but we're just going to go through here and see. I always like to, as soon as the scout's made, is I just go ahead and come down here to this little eye function. It's your search. Now, there's different policies and mementos that make this stronger. But regardless, as soon as the first scout's here, I always like to do it. It increases the sight range, and then it shows me stuff beyond. So already it shows me this ruin over here, so I don't have to guess a direction. I can immediately just go down there. And as far as my technology, let's look at the tech tree. So, sailing, you have to have sailing to get the currency. So you can skip sailing for now if you're not doing anything on the water or you need it. So really your choice is between pottery and husbandry. Most of the time I find it's better to go animal husbandry first, just because the saw pit is super helpful earlier. In the vast majority of cases, you're also going to get that production on camps and woodcutters, that food on pastures, which you're going to have a lot sooner than, and be more helpful than plantations and clay pits from pottery. But also you get the slinger, or if your civilization has some unique range unit, you usually get it here. So that gives you extra defense if you need that early on. So I like to go animal husbandry. Of course, it's open to you, but usually one of these two and then the other one is a great way to start. And again, this is for most cases. You may have certain situations where it's better to do something else. But as we're on Continents Plus map, it's going to be that. So now that we've grown, and really if you're unsure about your science selection, just grow the city and see what are going to be your improvements. So look, we have 1 clay pit, we have 3 farms, we have 1 woodcutter, and 1 mine. So that kind of tells me, hey, animal husbandry is going to be helpful. We've got camps and woodcutters and pastures, but pottery is +1 on clay pits, mines, and quarries with the brickyard, but you only get +1 on clay pits and +1 on plantations. We don't have plantations, and we got 1 clay pit. So I mean, it's pretty obvious what we needed to do. So in the beginning, I try to go with nothing but food, unless there's a specific resource I really want. And in this case, I'm playing as if I was playing on deity. I'm going to grow to the silver in case I need to grab that to get cheap units for battling the AI. But you can do whatever. Point is, you don't get those yields until you click that spot. So my city was not getting this 2 food until I claimed that. So this just tells you what it can get until you actually click on it. See, and it even tells you in the tooltip, improved with, in this case, clay pit. This has the farm on it. So that's telling you what you could get versus what you are actually getting. Alright, so we made it down here to this ruin, and so we have this choice. In this case, and all of them have really good stuff to read. I'm not going to read them for this video, but they're all very good. So you can read this and decide, do you want more production or more gold? In general, to me, production is king. And gold is usually, to me, about 4 or 5 gold per 1 production. So in this case, the gold might be worth it. You know, especially since it's so early, we're only producing a scout. You know, that gold may help in buying a unit later, buying a building. I'm not too worried about getting another unit out faster. Later in the game, it might be helpful to finish a building faster, finish a unit faster. Right now, we're going to take that gold. I mean, plus that was what, like 15 turns of gold. Like that's insane. All right, so now that I've got sufficiently far away from my capital, I like to move 1 spot and then do a search, just to, again, see what can be explored. So I have 1 here and 1 here. Well, I see the lakes here, so in my mind, that's gonna be a little bit farther. So let me go here first. I can always swoop back around. So that tells me this guy is gonna go north. And also, whenever I look at that, I'm like, oh wait, I'm pretty close to the northern edge. So that's gonna be, see, and I'm pretty far from the southern edge. So this scout is gonna hit this quick and then come over to the left. So this guy really needs to focus down and to the right, this section. That's just my thoughts. So again, we grew. These are not the yields you have until you click on that spot. I'm gonna click more food. And be careful, there's no confirmation or do over, go back, whatever you want to call it. Once you click it, it's clicked. And then you also notice the borders expand around to claim out more tiles. So this is helpful to know if you're battling the AI for some land, of how to grow to it fast. Alright, now our second scout is done. And we are going to send him up to the right and loop around, just so we know that's the direction we already want to go. And in this case, I'm not going to waste a turn on the search yet. I want to get up somewhere where I can see. Well, that ended that pretty quick. We're right on the corner of the coast. Oh, now that's done. So let's come over here. Now, there's no enemies nearby. I figured that the warrior, I'd need to be building something while I was waiting on the saw pit. To me, I wait for the granary until I have really nothing left to build, or my growth is just super slow. Production is just always king in every Civ game. So you want to put the saw pit, as it says here, where it gets production near camps and woodcutters. So now I'm going to turn some of these into camps and woodcutters. This into a clay pit. So I probably want to put it like right here, because I'm going to put camps and woodcutters on either side. Really maximize that. And now I'm gonna move that up because the production is more important. I have some production into the warrior, but if somebody comes, I can just switch it over to the warrior and help defend myself. Now that I'm done with that, I'm going to go straight into pottery to get that extra production on more of my areas as I expand out. Okay, well, two things here. First, we'll do the narrative event. Again, so happiness or production. Production would be helpful now because then that means our saw pit's out giving us more production. But happiness is also another very key feature that, depending on the Civ you have and how you're playing, can be hard to come by. The reason happiness is helpful is because of your social policies. When you click on, I'll go back, on this social policy button, it opens up the screen. It tells you, based on your happiness, how many turns until you get a celebration. And it's like, okay, cool, but what does the celebration give me? Well, we don't have it yet because we don't have the chiefdom unlocked, but you'll have policies on the left-hand side, and I'll show you once we have it unlocked, and then you have what's enacted on the right-hand side. Well, you only start off with a few number of social policy slots based on different factors, but the way you get more, the primary way you get more is by celebration. So every celebration you get a policy slot, so you can add in and augment your government. So it's super helpful, and we'll see that next turn actually. I in the beginning will always take the happiness just to get that production. Now the second thing, we have an independent power. This is very similar to, or almost exactly like Civ VI. If you turned on the barbarian clans mode, you can interact with them if you have the diplomatic points. Less options than in Civ VI, but it's okay. But these guys act as barbarian, and this red ring tells you that this guy is not friendly, and that he's going to attack my scout. But it'll be fine. He'll heal up or defend and keep scouting. Some of them will be white, and they're friendly. So then what you'll do is once you save up influence points, you can become their suzerain. They become an actual city-state. They give you bonuses. That's my favorite way to play. I see it super strong, especially on upper difficulties, catching up and surpassing the AI quickly by using the city-state bonuses. If you clear the city-state, you'll get a one-time amount of, in this case, gold or culture or whatever it is based on the city-state. And see, they have their own scouts, their own warriors. I'm surprised he didn't attack, but that is fine with me. I'm going to get as far away from it as possible before doing another search. And so now you have some, like this one, you have some events that are triggered based on research and other things that happen in the game. And also based on your leader. So for this one, it's asking me, do I want to build monuments and I get extra culture, or do I want production towards training infantry people, and that's rewarded after having a commander with 3 promotions, or just get gold. So this really starts pushing you down which road you want to go for your winning condition. Do you want to go more cultural side or more on the military side? In the beginning, most of my games, I like going culture. I like just getting through the culture tree faster. Typically, if you get through the culture tree faster and you get through the tech tree faster, you can get enough gold to buy units that really, unless you're going for some kind of all-out war, I don't usually take this option. So I'll just take that. And as you can see, also on a standard length, 10 turns, we're at 6%. And so what I roughly estimate in my head is every 2 turns is a % complete, unless you've completed some of your legacy paths. And that's what I was just talking about. So the culture in here for the antiquity is to build wonders. You gotta get 7 to get a golden age, and really most of the wonders are in the culture tree, the civics. So I want to get through those as soon as possible so I can build them as soon as possible. Military is just have 12 towns or cities in your empire. If you conquer them, they count as 2. So just by settling, you're going to get through this. Science, just by going through the science tree, you're going to get at least the first one, unless you're just having a real hard game. And then economic, you have to work at it a little bit because it's about getting resources in your empire, in your settlements. If you're settling a lot, you can sometimes get it that way, but you've got to have merchants, which are unlocked with your civics. So now, speaking of civics, we are unlocked with chiefdom. Again, depending on where you're going and what you're going to do for your game, you can either start with your civilization unique civics, or come in here and pick between mysticism and discipline. The biggest difference is mysticism lets you unlock the pantheon, which obviously gives you bonuses to your empire, and then discipline, which can help with scouting and also army commanders, and you get a free army commander. Again, right now in our situation, we don't really need the army commander. We're not trying to rush war. We're not getting invaded with the barbarians. I've had like 3 barbarian clans attack me, so I had to rush this. I'm going to rush mysticism most of the time in my game, regardless of who I am, to get that bonus from the altar. And now, because we've completed chiefdom, we'll choose our government. And you can see here, so what happens is when you have a celebration, you pick one or the other. You don't get both. That was kind of confusing to me the first time I played, so don't let that confuse you. You pick one or the other. So again, all this is based on what kind of game do you want to have? What kind of game are you trying to have? In general, I really like to do the oligarchy because I can just pump food to get my cities big until they're all building buildings, and then can just churn through those buildings super fast. You know, if you don't have a problem with production and or food for buildings, production that is, you know, you can look at one of these others. Like if you're really bad at culture and you need to catch up on culture, this might be good. Or if you're going for the culture victory because they're paired together, more culture or building wonders when they're available. If you're going for more military play, despotism is good because you can get more science faster to unlock the more powerful military units, and then you train them faster later to attack. But in general, oligarchy is my bread and butter. I like to go to. So now that we did that, we have social policies available like I was talking about earlier. See, and you only start with one, and you've got to make a decision. I'm always going to go with production. Production is king. So each happiness, there'll be another slot that I can add in, and different civs and different leaders can make it easier or more difficult to get production, or happiness rather. And what also affects your happiness is your settlement limit. If you go over your settlement limit, you have less happiness, which then affects your celebrations and everything else. So you got to really balance out your happiness with your cities. You can go over settlement limit. You can go over by quite a lot actually, but it's going to harm your empire to do so. All right, we got another growth event. Again, I'm not in any sort of rush to grow super fast. So I'm going to produce super fast. So I'm going to grow here to get that more food, because we can't start producing settlers until we have 5 population. I'm going to move to this horse and then do a search. Okay. And it looks like we've got this recent new bug that your scout vision goes down. I'm not sure what it is, but we did find over here. Everything still works normally with this bug, so let's just pretend like it's not a thing. So we're going to kind of leave this area alone for now. I really like to get as many of these things as possible, and this is going to lead us back over here. Those bonuses it can give you early in the game are just too good. Oh, we may be on a peninsula. This might be a good spot for a fishing town to feed food in. We can get elephants would help with wonder production, and then camels that help with just holding resources in town. It's an option. That's what I'm always thinking. Like, where do I want to settle? No, and I can only go 3 rings out to actually have anything useful. Oof. Oh man, we are on a peninsula. We got lots of good things. Like this would actually even be a good settle. Lots of fishing. You know, somewhere over here, get these gypsum, get this gold. You know, maybe settle here, settle down here. But we're just gonna keep moving right along. I'm keeping an eye on the influence because you need 170 to make these guys friends. And it's not instant, it takes a little while. That does change based on leaders and civs, but in general that's how it works. Alright, we finally made it to this ruin. We have production or happiness. We're still pretty far away, and I want that celebration as soon as possible. We're pretty good on production. I don't really care because as soon as we hit 5, we're going to pump out settlers. So we're just going to take that celebration. And if you want to, I should have mentioned, you can come in here before accepting and see how much you have per turn, how many turns left, do a little bit of easy math to see, you know, what's going to be the better trade-off. But if you're just casually playing like I do, just take the happiness. It's almost, unless you're already in a celebration, then the happiness does nothing. If you're not in a celebration, take the happiness. That's my general rule of thumb. Alright, because I have 4 turns left, and I'm about to open up another building, this is one of the rare cases that before I have other cities out, I'm not going to take the food. I'm going to take the production. And now I can slot in my other social policy slot. Alright, and so based on another narrative event, I can either get a warrior or a scout. I don't really need a scout. We've already scouted that we're on a peninsula. There's not a whole lot to do. So we're going to get a warrior just to protect us, just to make sure we're going to be fine. I'm going to search to see if there's anything along the coast. There's not. Looks like we got that bug too. I wonder if it's something about searching along the coast gives you that bug. Kind of interesting. Cool. Once we're friends with Seleucia, we'll come back and search more over there. I just don't want to cause any problems right now. So this guy I'm actually just going to fortify. This button right here is going to take a couple turns. Don't really need him out doing anything. Rather have him protecting. Alright, now we have the brickyard. I like to put the brickyard and the saw pit on the same tile most of the time, because most of the time they're going to be surrounded by the same type of productions, and they're both ageless. So I know we're going to have a mine and a clay pit here, so I could put it here and get more production. You know, so it's just kind of up to you how you play. I think I will do that this time, and I'm going to take that warrior out of the queue. While I have the celebration, I want my buildings built faster. Now I'm done with that. Really then the choice starts becoming sailing, riding, irrigation, masonry. I don't suggest doing riding because you don't have enough production in food to really scale up, and you can fall behind, especially on higher difficulties. Irrigation can be helpful if you're on a low food start for some reason and you decide to play that instead of getting a new one. It's like if you're in a tundra or you're in a desert or something with low food, irrigation can be super helpful. Also, irrigation gives you, if you see there, a +1 settlement limit. So then you can grow your empire without the detriment of negative happiness. So I almost always go for masonry. It gives +1 production on mines and quarries, and then the monument gives culture and influence. And so that's just super helpful. So that's where I always pick. And then after that, depending on what I need, either irrigation or the libraries. Okay, again, I want you to finish building those fortifications. Goodness gracious. Oh man. So my got notification here. My scout was attacked by this not friendly city-state that is a culture city-state. And so I'm going to back him up and look for another way to get over here. May just send him down this way now. Okay, now see some of these, their production is starting to look better because of things that we've unlocked. So in this case, I'm actually going to go for this production to just help churn through a little bit faster. And we skipped 5 and went straight to 6 pop because of that. So I'm going to bust out 2 settlers to get to my settlement limit. Oh ho! We've met a civilization. Trung of the Khmer. Now, again, your options are you can either spend 20 influence to be nice to them, nothing to be neutral, or to reject them to be negative. All depends on what you're doing and what you want. I generally try to be nice, especially on deity, as I don't want to get killed. Now that we have 170, we're going to befriend this city-state. That was the plan, but we found this one. Now, I like the gold city-states, but I will always prefer the culture or the science city-states over anything else. So now, because they're not friendly, it's going to be 15 turns until they become friendly and stop attacking us, 30 until we become suzerain. You can add support later to make that faster, but in general, I find you don't need it unless you're competing against another player for that city-state. Sorry, not civilization. So I'm just come over here, see if we can reveal anything. No, that's fine. We'll just come about right there and do it again. So yeah, we're just gonna keep churning through these turns. In the beginning, a lot of your turns. Ooh, that's pretty. A lot of your turns can be pretty quick, just because there's not a lot going on quite yet. So now we unlock the Civic. We can change policy we want. We don't have any settlements to get that out, so I'm just gonna keep as is. We met somebody else. All right, Harriet Tubman. I will be your friend, ma'am, and you're Oxum. Interesting. Now let's choose our Civic. Now here, after getting your first Civic, it starts becoming more open. Well, we don't need the army commander, and we don't need this unless we're going to go for mastery for Gate of All Nations. That gives you +2 support on all wars for the whole game. That's pretty helpful. It's a lot of Diplos saved, especially in the later ages. So if you know you're going to war, or you think somebody's going to attack you, instead of going mysticism, rushing this can be helpful. But after mysticism, I generally look at my unique civics for the civ I'm playing. And so here we have the Basilica, which gives influence and gold. And then we can slot in a tradition that training infantry gives us culture equal to 25% of the production cost. And then over here we have the Temple of Jupiter, which gives culture and happiness. And then we can also have a tradition that's production towards military units in the capital for every town. So that's really helpful, really helpful. Augustus already likes having a lot of towns and not cities, and so that can just make it even more of a growth. So because we're not necessarily focused on attacking anybody right now, we're going to go with the Temple of Jupiter, and we're going to get that down for that culture. And so, by the way, if you hover over the banners, you can see everybody's yields. So because we're playing slightly above medium, the AI is ahead of us in science, and we're barely behind in culture. And so what I always try to do is just try and figure out how can I catch up and get ahead of the AI to the point where I feel comfortable doing whatever I want. Whether that's attacking, just sitting back and simming, whatever. So now that we unlocked our Pantheon, we get to choose one. And the faster you get it, the better, because obviously some of these are not available. And so again, you just need to go through, read, and see what's useful for what you're doing. I typically, for all around, God of the Sun's pretty good all around. I also like stone circles just for that extra production. That can be used anywhere, anyhow. So it's up to you. Pick what you want, what is going to fit your game style. I find that doing this path that I've been going through for these last 23 turns helps set me up for any path I want to go down. It doesn't matter. Alright, so I'm doing my settlers, and I'm going to have a think about where I want my altar. So I mean, really the choice is between these two. So I'm just going to put it here. And my granary, I really like to have it in the city. Sorry, I didn't mean to click. But, with these bonuses here on the science and culture, I'll put it in one of those. We have 2 turns. I'm not too concerned about taking those 2 turns for either one of those buildings. I'm more concerned now at getting my cities out and start growing. Let's see what we got over here. Oh, so see here? This is a friendly city state. And you can even hover and it'll tell you if it's friendly or hostile. Uh-oh. Somebody just settled right over here. So we may have some problems in the future. See if you hover this, hostile. So I'm just trying to run away. He's probably going to attack me, and I really want. This is what I was going for. So we're just going to skedaddle. Yes, I realize I'm trailing in technology. Thank you for that. Oh, looks like my other scout died instantly from something. Well, that's not great. So it can be a dangerous world out there for a scout. Oh, that's funny. Seleucia immediately took over Argus from somebody. So I've seen this even on Deity. These little independent powers are no joke. They have screwed up Deity AI before, and it's been really funny. Alright, so our first settler is produced, and so now we can see simplified. Blue, we'll get 5 plus 5 happiness bonus. Yellow, we can settle but no happiness, and red, we can't settle. And then of course they give you suggested locations. So I'm looking around and I'm looking in my mind, what resources do I want to grab that would be within 3 tiles. So 1, 2, 3. We'll grab a lot of this stuff, which would be good. Also here, I'll get a lot of this stuff, which would be pretty good. In general, I don't like putting my city center on the coast. I like to have a full ring of production, but 1, 2, 3. That's going to make anything over here pretty hard, so these are going to have to be on the coast. So we're just going to pick. We're not going to take too much time. We're just going to come over here, and we're going to make a fishing village for this one, and we're going to come down here and make a second fishing village for the other one. Alright, we managed to get away, so we're going to pull back. So the sad thing is, scouts, for the most part, can't fight back, but it's okay. It just makes me a little sad they die just a little bit easier. And then look, they already destroyed that city. That's why I generally will always want to befriend the city-states. It's just too good. Alright, so now we have a choice. Because we grew. We can get 20% gold towards purchasing units, so they're cheaper. We can make them more powerful. Or we can get this resource that gives 2 production and 2 happiness into the capital. So this tile is not a 1, 2, 1. This tile is really a 1, 4, 3. When you think about it that way, to me, that makes a no-brainer to go ahead and get that. So now, we've got pretty good production. We got pretty good food, I'd say. We can keep growing, I think. 19 turns. Yeah, I'm going to go, in this case, I'm going to go irrigation to make sure that we just keep growing without much stagnation. So, you'll see this is a settler, not a founder. So when I settle this, this is a settlement. I can only purchase things in here, which I'm going to do right away, actually. I'm going to purchase that brickyard. And you notice when you purchase a brickyard, it force grew the town out. So now I can grow the town. And in these settlements, food is kind of important, but to me what's more important is the production, because it gets turned 1 production into 1 gold. This will be helpful later when I have too many resources and I can't slot them in. Alright, so time to time, the AI will send you something. You can support it for influence. You both get whatever it says here. You can just accept it, which will either be less, or in this case, a different type of thing that you receive, or you can spend less influence to reject it, but then that makes them upset with you. In this case, we have the influence. I want that happiness, so I'll spend it. Depending on what they're offering, sometimes I don't spend it. Alright, so we've got this unique policy here, this tradition, that will be handy for certain Certain units get bonuses for traditions that you have slotted into your government, so you need to know these are traditions. They'll always have the symbol there. I'm happy with how I am, so we'll just keep it and we'll move right along. So I don't have Legatus yet, so I'm not going to get the free promotion on him. So we'll go down here because I want to make and show the unique quarter by having both of these put in the same location. So Temple of Jupiter, we're going to get bonus happiness from things. So what does it say? It even tells you 1 culture for each adjacent happiness constructible and 1 culture for each adjacent wonder. So I'm gonna actually put this over here because then we can do happiness buildings that will increase everything. And when that pops through, we also have the monument we need to place. We'll put the monument here. When that pops through, it will force grow because that's a roll pop. It will force grow it, and we can choose something later. You'll see when it comes up. So for this guy, I want him to come down. I want him to come down here. I like this gold purchasing towards buildings because Augustus already has gold purchasing toward buildings in towns, so it's just stacking that modifier to get the towns up and running a lot faster. Alright, these guys really need to just come over here and see what they can find. Alright. We're going to keep growing. I want to keep focusing food for now. So see here, we can either get, both of us get 6 science. She gets 4 and I get 2. I'm not really concerned about this. I'll just accept it because I want to get Seleucia to be my friends. You see, they are now attacking. Sending some folks over. So we're going to have to be prepared for that. So in that case, I'm going to switch over to discipline. Get my Legatus out. Get him some bonuses going. I may have to buy a slinger to help defend. Yes, I realize it's under threat. Let's come over here, build fortifications. So this is just an example of everything that can happen. Alright, so this happens most of the time for Rome. It may happen for others. I can't remember, but I like to concentrate my production in Roma. I usually only have 2 cities with Rome by the end of the age, and the rest are towns. So we're going to go over that gold purchasing real fast. Grow city. Alright, now we're going to need some combat strength, so we're going to snag that. Ooh, 50. That was not great. Should have attacked him last turn. So you can see, you just live and learn. And this is not even on the highest difficulty, and they're already, these guys are pretty dang powerful. I may have needed to befriend them first, because this is looking rough. Let's get that going. You, sir, we're just gonna go and get another slinger and another warrior, because we in trouble. I can't do what I want to do because you're standing on the tiles. That's always fantastic. We'll assign that to the capital. Camels give you more resource slots, so those are always nice to have, however you can acquire them. It's okay, it's okay. So this weird that sometimes they come in and attack in force, and then they just randomly leave. Not quite sure why that is, but I'm happy for them to leave. There's that culture bonus we get from them. In this case, if I was going to go after anybody, even the little independent powers, this is real nice. And +3 combat strength. But I'll take the gold because in a couple turns I'm going to start befriending Seleucia. Alright, so the altar, let's get the altar going again because it's got that production and that happiness. And then we'll get the Jupiter the granary, and then the monument. Not sure where we want that monument to go. Mountain terrain and natural wonders. And wonders. So I'm going to produce a wonder here. Might as well put it here. Another civilization. Ooh, Machiavelli. Sorry, brother. This time we're just going to be neutral. You're the one that was over here that got destroyed by the Seleucids. Kind of funny. Alright, now I'm done with irrigation. It's time to go into writing. Again, you might need the military stuff, or you could double down on masonry to get more production from production buildings and combat strength for fortified districts, or you might need sailing now. You gotta just see what your game gives you and go from there. Alright, we're just gonna fortify these guys in case they come back. And next turn we get our legatus. Let's just keep coming over here, see what we can find. Alright, see, now we have our legatus. So if they want to mess around, they can find out. You know what I'm saying? Let's get that Cal in. Alright, so let's go back and finish out our Civitas. You know, sometimes you gotta do that. You gotta stop what you're doing and do something different. Don't be afraid to change things up on the fly. You know, that's what life's about. That's what civilization's about. You know, you just gotta be willing to make some changes and do what's gotta be done. The sooner people learn that, the better they'll be at the game and in life. Alright, so we're approaching 50 turns, and I would say I'm pretty good start. I know I'm building lots of buildings that would be helped by the production. I also have another cellar I can get out, but in this case I really want food. I want my cities to grow faster. This now has a bigger benefit for my civilization than just the buildings, because the faster the towns grow, the faster that they will acquire land and get more bonuses for the empire. So that's why I almost always go oligarchy. And now we can put in, I'm not building those, I'll put in gold. 6 gold now, bonus. Love it. Love it. It's going to go up to 8 when I get my other one out. I love it. Alright. We're going to build a wonder soon. We're going to get the Colosseum. So let's go ahead and get that. This one grows cities. See, now we got lots of options, lots of good looking tiles. We're a little low on gold in this city, so I'm going to pick this tile that's got a food production and a gold. We got another tile to grow to. So in this case, I'm going to get the silver in case I need to buy more gold. Ma'am, I like you, but I'm just going to accept that. And so, as you can see, as I said earlier, about half the turns is the percent of age progress. Now that does get faster as you get closer to the end, as people are completing milestones. But you see here, we're at 25% complete in 50 turns. So I'm sure there's things that could have been done more optimally for this. We did get our city-state bonus. I'm glad that happened in 50 turns. And so you can come through here, pause and read to see what they all do. I almost always get the free civic and free tech ones because it's just overpowered. It just gets you leveled up. That was discipline 2. They do give you masteries sometimes. So that's why I try and get all the city-states possible. I always give attribute points and mementos and things to get city-states faster. And then it's helpful because then in the next age, they respawn already friendly, so that's faster. So here's another culture one. So I can get another culture one, and assuming somebody's not already going for them, they are. Oh well. The AI's better now by doing that. We can get Seleucia. Oh, Machiavelli. So in this case, 20 turns, 30 turns. I'm going to start pumping influence in to make this number me in first place so that I'll get that. I don't really care about this. This is nice because you get a bonus of whatever they have, but I really want that suzerainty. But yeah, that's been first 50 turns. In general, this is how I start all of my games, the first 50 turns, regardless of Civ, or leader. Because I just want to get that good production base, good food growth base, a good happiness, just, you know, kind of all around. And if we look at my yields, you know, I'm pretty good across the board. Science could use some work, but that's not a problem. I hadn't even started getting the science buildings out, so that's going to increase. And yeah, so then really I can just do whatever I want. The higher difficulties, it will be harder for the wonders because of the bonuses they get, but you know, I can just pick any or all of these to play a little bit. Just make sure I don't get a dark age, and I'm good. And then now, really, as you expand and your empires start to come in contact, like they are over here. Oh, here's a science city-state. This is the guy I really need. I should have looked more. Always look. Don't be in a rush. You make mistakes. But anyways, as your civilizations start crowding and getting more land, you know, things are going to change. You may have to take a break from buildings and start producing units. Start buying units in your outlying towns or buying walls or whatever. So don't be afraid of, keep your main goal in mind, but the path you get there, you know, think of it like you're hiking and a tree fell on the path and you got to figure out a way around it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know it's a longer video than normal, but I just wanted to make sure, you know, I explain my thought process a little bit more about why I'm making decisions and how you can then take that and incorporate into your gameplay and make your game, you know, as awesome as you want it to be, and you can in the end build something that will stand the test of time, something that you are proud of, you know. So I appreciate you guys, and make sure you leave a like or comment. Let me know what you thought about it, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye bye.